You are now listening to Lady Denim. Kick back and enjoy the ride. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Lady Adenum. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about abortion and the hypocrisy of the anti-abortion movement. I am not religious, but I believe in God. I am not a liberal or conservative, but my views will have me demonized by both parties. With that said, let's talk about how Texas implemented a law that outlaws abortion once medical professionals can detect a fetal heartbeat, usually around 6 weeks into a pregnancy and before many women know they are pregnant, being the most restrictive abortion ban since the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling in 1973. This law allows private citizens in Texas to sue abortion providers and anyone they suspect of helping a woman get an abortion. People who file lawsuits can be rewarded at least $10,000 in damages if a court rules in their favor. I am sickened by how hypocritical and disturbing this is to not only our rights but to us women as a whole. We have to deal with old men that resemble balding buzzards dictate us on our bodies. Men that will never know what it's like to menstruate for 7 days and suffer from severe cramps that feel like you're being stabbed in the pelvis. Let alone know how it would feel being raped and impregnated, finding out 6 weeks later to only be told that they're forced to keep it because of the law. What annoys me most is that pro-lifers really think they are doing God's work and are so uprighteous as if they are God's flawless modeled human creation. I hate to be the one to tell you, but imprisoning or executing women who access safe abortion care and silencing doctors while standing by as the mortality rates skyrocket and women die in childbirth is not doing God's work. The entitled mindset is what kills me. What gives you the right to make decisions for other people's lives? Most pro-lifers tend to be conservative. Funny, because most claim to be about freedom but want to ban things that don't serve their best interests and depend on the government to do it. Sounds like a bunch of liberals to me. I thought the whole idea of freedom was to make our own choices. I get that there are women who are irresponsible and see an abortion as a contraceptive or a quick fix. Which if you are one of those women, you make us look inherently bad. Once or even twice, I'll let it slide. More than that, I have to question your moral construct. Let me be clear that terminating an early pregnancy is not to be celebrated and mocked. It's painful emotionally and physically draining. Something that shouldn't be praised about. If you keep having unprotected sex and purposely getting knocked up because it feels so good, I can't respect you, honestly. At least take precautions. Sex is not a frivolous act. It's more than physical pleasure. It's spiritual. I am all about self-care, and repeat abortions are not helping your yoni, ladies. Why would you want to put your body through that type of stress? Common side effects are bleeding on average lasting 14 to 21 days, cramping, dizziness, drowsiness, and nausea or vomiting. Immediate complications include damage to the womb or cervix, excessive bleeding, infections of the uterus, septic shock, or even death. If you want to read more about this, I will leave the link in my description. With that said, imagine being one of the women or girls having an illegal back alley abortion. I imagine many did not make it, or if they did, they suffered from severe infection and probably became barren. Let us not forget history, ladies and gentlemen. Pro-lifers seem to be so concerned with saving an unborn life, but have no regards for the children who are suffering now. They say, get the baby up for adoption. The problem with that, though, is that orphanages are already overflowing with children, and the foster care system is corrupt. Remember Terrell Peterson? I bet you don't. I wouldn't want any child going through the agony he went through and meeting their untimely demise because their mother, who didn't want them in the first place, was forced to carry them to full term. All children deserve parents, but not all parents deserve children. Cuban_mechanic on Insta made a valid point regarding this topic. He said, Unless you're up adopting kids in an orphanage or donating money to people who can't afford to raise a kid, why tell other people they must have that child as if it was yours? What are you going to do if the child was abused? What are you going to do if the child was born with severe mental problems due to drug abuse from the parents? What are you going to do when you see orphanages overflowing with kids that want a family? The answer is, you're not going to do squat shit. Easy for you to scream, "Have the baby or else," while absolutely playing no vital role at all in this child's life. My body, my choice doesn't only apply to the vaccine. Kudos to you, honey. You're a conservative with common sense. What's mind-boggling to me is that people also put faith in the government when it favors their opposition towards federal or state law. Greg Groder on Insta stated, "Whether or not abortion is wrong is between those who get one and their creator. How about more consistency on having a hands-off government?" Darling, I couldn't agree more. My body, my choice doesn't apply only to the vaccine, but it also applies to the individual's privacy and human right to have access to obtain safe abortion. The first trimester of pregnancy, in my opinion, is the best time to get one because after, yes, it will be considered murder as the embryo has grown into a fetus. Honey, no one has the right to meddle in your life and dictate how you should live, especially people who can't seem to mind their business and want our faulty government to pass laws that violate our freedom and the right to choose. A person's decisions regarding his or her personal life are none of the government's business under the Bill of the United States Constitution. Remember that, folks? Texas, shame on you. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Insta and Twitter at @adenum. My podcast is available on Player FM and iHeartRadio. Mwah. Till next time, darling.